Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to the Tried and Tested podcast. I am your host, Tracey, and today we have a special guest, Shanise, with us today. Hey, Shanise.
Hey, hi everyone.
Thank you so much for coming on the episode today. So for those of you who don't know, Tried and Tested is a relationship and millennial dating podcast where we discuss different issues we have in our relationships, different questions we have. I give advice, I interview guests, and we just talk about all things relationships. So Shanise, before we get into the topic today, let them know a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Shanise. Well, a little bit about me. I work full-time as a nursing PCA. Also, I'm a full-time Christian, and
Okay.
I also am pursuing my dream in personal blogs, just telling people a little bit about, spiritual growth. So that's a little bit about what I do, and hopefully I'll get that off the ground pretty soon.
Yes. I'm excited to see what you have in store for us. So today, without further ado, the topic we're going to be discussing is getting yourself together. Now, when I say getting yourself together, in this day and age, I know a lot of women and men who are eager to be in relationships, right? And one of the things I always hear and that I've also always been taught is that while you are in your single setting, your single life, your single stage, whatever, you should be preparing and getting yourself together. Have you heard that before or no?
Yes, definitely heard that before, more in my latter years. Definitely heard that before, mostly from, like, my pastor, my first lady. Just to be prepared before going into any relationships. Yeah.
Okay, definitely, I agree. And so, yes, I was going to ask, well, like, when should you get prepared? Because I know some people, they're waiting to meet the right person, and then they want to get prepared. And I'm like, wait, you can't do that. Like, you need to get prepared while you're home in your misery and you're devastated that you don't have a man or you don't have a girl. That's the time you should kind of be focusing on, getting yourself together. So I want to talk about, first and foremost, hygiene, right? So right. Male and female hygiene, I feel like, are so important. But I feel like there are people who don't really find that to be something that's important. So have you ever experienced a situation where you've come across people with bad hygiene, and how do you think hygienically you should prepare before a relationship?
Yes, I have definitely come across people either that I've dated, I've worked with, or just in casual interaction that have poor hygiene ethics, and it is definitely a turn-off. But definitely how we should prepare is, one, you should know your routine. You should have a routine. Know what is part of a hygiene routine in general. Like when we wake up in the morning, first thing we should do is definitely wake up, pray first, and then brush our teeth, hop in the shower. Just things that you want to smell fresh. You don't want to ever greet anybody that is, with bad breath, So
funky. Well, I have a question because some people are very literal. So when you say brush your teeth, does that include your tongue as well? Like, should you brush your tongue?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Definitely, I think you should spend a minimum amount, like 3 minutes of minimal on just like your teeth, your gums, the upper roof of your mouth. Definitely spend some time. If you have a tongue scraper, get from the back to the front. And, just make sure we should not see anybody with white coating on their tongue first thing in the morning. That's just me, So, Yeah, definitely. A whole rigorous, also not just brushing. I personally use a pre-mouthwash. Then, I let that soak while I'm in the shower. I do my routine in the shower. And then I start, brushing while that's still in, and then start on my tongue, and then I do a mouthwash after. So definitely I'm into fresh breath. So.
Oh, no, I definitely agree. I actually do something called oil pulling, where you use raw coconut oil, and you, take a teaspoon, and you literally swish it around in your mouth for, I think up to 20 minutes every morning, and that pulls out, bacteria and just, bad breath and germs and things like that. So, that's something that I do that also helps whiten your teeth, and it pulls out any, gook and stuff and mucus that's in your body. So that's something I do. So I have another question. You said take a shower, right? So do you take a shower every day, or how often should you take a shower? And before you answer that,
again, we're going
to do you have to wash your legs?
Wash my legs? I never knew there was a shower session without washing your legs. So absolutely,
well,
I usually wash. I definitely believe in washing from head to toe. I don't leave anything out, because one thing I think we all see, if you don't wash your legs properly and you try to dry off, you'll start to see that you have dead skin. That means your whole body should be exfoliated at least, a few times a week. So I definitely believe in showering, exfoliating, not just your face, but your body. You don't, you want to be lighter on the face because, it'd be more gentle, it's more sensitive, but your body can definitely take it. And definitely, morning. I mean, and some people shower at night, and, because they have an early morning. I usually like to when I wake up, I shower. And because you go through the day, probably shower when I come home from work, yeah.
Do you use soap when you shower, or what do you use? What product do you use when you take a shower? And it sounds funny, but I'm being serious, because there are people in relationships who actually, they stink. And it's I don't know if people people who want to be in relationships, and it's the smell is repelling other people. And so I'm just, this is an awareness kind of thing, because people may not really know. Do you use soap every day? Do you wash your legs? I've heard that when I wash my body at the top, the water runs down to your legs, so you don't have to wash it.
Wow, no. Again, this is, I guess, opinions, but in my opinion, I believe that I use about 3 different types of soaps. One for a body wash, one separately for my face, because I do sometimes have an oily face due to the products that I put in my hair. So I definitely use a different, more gentle, more acne-fighting soap on my face. That's a whole another regimen that I take in the morning. I have a body wash, and I have another wash for my genital area. I definitely use different soaps, and I use different means to wash, as some people use washcloths. I have a body brush. Again, I'm talking about exfoliating, getting all that dead skin off, and it leaves you with a glow, I find, especially when you exfoliate, because sometimes if you just use your hand, which, I don't think anybody should just be using their hand to wash, because I don't think you're really getting the dirt and the sweat. And I work in a hospital, so I know what things can latch onto you and what stays onto you, and just minimal soap and water is not going to get it off. There's people you don't know you come in contact with that have active diseases that they travel with and they touch things, and you really don't want to bring that into your house or your, to your family members.
No,
so definitely
yeah.
Scrubbing.
So,
and yeah.
What about underwear? Like, do you change your underwear after you shower daily or like every couple of days? Like, how often do you think?
I literally have Monday through Sunday change of underwear daily, twice a day if you take showers more than once, because especially for men and women,
it's new underwear.
Right, you sweat, so you don't, especially down there, like depending on if you're shaven or unshaven or whatever, you will hold different like smells and whatnot, and being that you sit, you're running, you're walking, definitely a change of underwear and different. If you use cotton and whatever, yes, definitely, yeah.
All right. So what about your finances? So we're still talking about how you can get yourself together before you get into a relationship. So actually, we're going to lump some things together. So cooking, finances, a job, a car. What do you think that should look like before you actually enter into a relationship with somebody else?
Priorities. I would put car at the end of somebody's list because I think you would be able to survive without one. But
in New York,
in New York, yes. In New York, in New York, the tri-state area for the most part. But as far as like finances, definitely have your finances together. If you're in debt now, this is the time you should be working to get out of debt. You don't want to join in with somebody and you mutually join debt. You want to definitely, I think you guys would want to add on to your finances, not starting from a negative number. So, yes, getting your debt under control. Cooking, definitely. We all want to eat, and that will help in your finances too. If you guys can cook more, then you'll save a lot of money in the long run, because I think meal prepping and cooking is definitely an attribute to taking away from eating out, especially nowadays with the economy, because it really, if you pay attention now, it's very expensive to go out to eat every day. And I think people will value you more if you bring something to the table, literally and figuratively. If you can bring a little bit of your identity to the table, there would be no seeking outside for it, again, literally and figuratively. Yeah. So I think that's a big value. Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely to kind of have those things in order. So have you ever been in a situation where you got into a relationship where you felt like you were unprepared, like, you didn't have yourself together? And if so, how did that relationship work out?
Yes, definitely. For my past majority of my relationships, I was unprepared, and that's simply because I just didn't know. I was just in it to, just for the sake of being in a relationship and not thinking, this person is going to probably want to go on vacation. This person is probably going to want to, go out to eat. They're going to want things for their birthday, Christmas, and so yeah, at the time, let's just say to my most recent relationship that I was in, it was always a financial issue because they would want to do things and I wasn't prepared, and it would cause an argument. And I would say, I'm not ready. I wanted to do these things, but because I knew I wasn't ready and because I had bills and, our finances didn't match. It wasn't the reason why I ended it, but it was a cause of a lot of arguments that could have been prevented have I been, money managing,
prepared,
out of debt, more prepared. Yes, definitely. That is something that you want to have a handle on ahead of time. It would it would help in eliminating a lot of grief and headaches and
yes.
embarrassment. Yeah.
Yes, definitely, because you don't want to, and you don't want to have, like, I guess, to rely on somebody else. And I just, for the record, we're talking about relationships, but these, obviously, relationships we're talking about are ones that you want to get into that are going to lead to something more serious like marriage at the end of the day. So that's just a FYI for the listeners. And also, if your credit cards are maxed out or almost maxed out, that means that you're in debt, in case some people didn't know. So I feel like, do you think that it is a problem, I guess, if you have a partner who is not okay with being alone? So, like, let's say you or someone that you are, interested in, if they're, like, fresh out of another relationship and they want to talk to you, do you feel like that's something good to do, or you feel like that also constitutes, like, working on yourself first and taking time to get yourself together? So some people go from rebound to a relationship,
Okay. So, again, so for me, I walked away from a relationship in 2018, and I decided to take the time out to figure out what I want, the things that I need to learn to build myself for my spouse in the future. So I definitely agree with that. We should have a period in time of grieving, a time of building up oneself, and a time of learning. And we will call this in church your pruning season. So you're figuring out who you are, what you want, what you don't want. I've also been in relationships where I had my significant other at the time when they had just came out of a relationship, and I kept telling them there is no rush. Let's find out who we are as individuals first and, see where it goes from there. And this person just wanted to jump right in. And later on in the line, I found out this person was still talking to their ex that they, not in a way, but they hadn't had closure the way I had closure. So it's like, it hurt because I told that person that they should take the time and, I will be here. I want to get to know you, instead of going behind my back. I was more hurt that you had the opportunity, to have the time and you didn't take it, So definitely, you don't ever want to jump out of one relationship into another. One, you have to find out why that relationship didn't work in the first place. And two, is you have to know what are you actually looking for. Was that person what you were looking for? And, these are the things that you should know. When you go into your next relationship, you should be, this is what I want. And, have a set mind that nobody can deter you away from. And it will lead you to your marriage ultimately because you know what you want. Yeah.
Yes, and I think that's a great example as far as preparing for your next relationship or preparing for a relationship. Don't ever look at a relationship as a means to somebody saving you, right? Because you should come in there already whole and complete on your own. You should not be putting the burden on somebody else to fix you or to make you, what you think they, like they're not Superman. You know what I mean? So
it could be draining. It could be draining for the person. Yeah,
it's a lot of pressure as well. I was going to say, so how do you feel about vision? How do you feel about going into a relationship and the person has no vision? Like, do you feel like that you should enter a situation like that if you don't know what it is you want for your life, what it is you want for your future, what it is you want for the relationship? Like, how important is that to preparing for something new?
Again, talking from experience, I went into a relationship and I didn't know. I don't think it's a total blooper to enter into that because you're always growing. Every day, people are always growing. If they have potential then I would say you could take a risk. But then again, you never know. You're better off talking to somebody that has a vision of what is more prepared, like you will be in the future.
Yes.
Because in the situation, I didn't know I thought I knew what I wanted, but I didn't have a set, this from A to B to Z. The person did. And ultimately, I ended up pulling out because they weren't what I was looking for, and I was what they were looking for, and I felt like that wasn't fair to them. At the end of the day, I asked for certain things, and I didn't commit to it. So definitely you yourself want to have vision so you do not waste anybody's time and vice versa. So, yeah.
Okay, no, I definitely agree. And I just want to add, before we wrap this up, that here are some things I feel like that are key takeaways that people should probably try to focus on while they're preparing themselves for a new endeavor. If you're waiting around for Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, you don't want to be selfish. You want to learn how to be an unselfish person, right? You don't want to be lazy, right? You want to make sure you are able to clean your house, clean your body, clean your car. You know what I mean? I'm serious. You want to make sure that you are mature, that you know how to communicate effectively with your partner or with people around you, because some people, they all they can do is yell and they can't listen, right? So that's something that's important. I think something that's very, very important is trust, right? If you cannot trust other people, then you're going to be paranoid, and your self-esteem is going to go up and down, and your self-confidence is going to be, and nobody wants to date somebody who is a maniac, right? That's crazy, screaming, stalking, all of that. So those are some tips that I feel like, just from my point of view, when I think about preparing yourself for a new endeavor, relationship, to become a fiance, whatever, that I find important. Shanise, before we close, is there something you want to tell the people about, getting yourself ready? Do you have some advice you want to give?
Time is on your hand. Definitely take your time. Always pray before you step into anything. Step into any relationship, ask God to guide you to where He would like you to be. Ultimately, your future partner should directly influence you into your destiny. So if that person is not for you and is not ordained for you, don't try to jump into something just for the sake of being in love, because at the end of the day, it would all unravel. So definitely, I say, ask God for His guidance in your future pickings, and just that you would also be, ordained for the person that you are going to meet, that you will be lovable, that you will be likable, that you will be ready. These are all things that we want to pray about, and then you start walking into it. If you want to be a wife, you walk into that role. You walk into the role of being able to carry yourself as a wife. Don't carry yourself with slackness and underdressed, and because you will seek those men that are looking for those type of women. So, or vice versa, men for women as well. So,
okay, yes. Well, I just want to thank you so much, Shanise, for taking the time out tonight to join us on Tried and Tested. Before you go, where can the listeners reach you if they want to contact you, if they want to find you? What is your social media handles that they can reach you at?
Okay. Crown Me City, SIITY on Instagram. Twitter, Glorified City as well is also SIITY. And also I do have a YouTube coming up, which would also be Glorified City, also spelled the same way, one word, two words matched together. So yes. Yeah, 2 I's, 1 T. Yeah, a lot of people spell it wrong, so that's why I have to spell it out. But definitely you can find me on Facebook at Shanise City, SIITY, Right, WRIGHC.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And to my listeners, thank you so much. And we'll see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, everyone.